Welcome back to the channel Valuable Coins History. This brief note introduces the rich legacy behind the 2010 United States 1-cent coin, a modern piece of American history that connects more than a century of tradition. As the first full year of the Lincoln Shield design, the 2010 penny symbolizes unity, national strength, and the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln. Though small in value, it carries a powerful story, linking America's past with its present and preserving a proud numismatic heritage that tops six first up. The 2010 United States 1-cent coin represents the beginning of a new chapter in the long and evolving history of the American penny. Its story stretches back to more than a century of tradition linked to President Abraham Lincoln, whose portrait has appeared on the obverse front of the cent since 1909. That year marked the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and the U.S. Mint introduced the first Lincoln cent, designed by Victor David Brenner, which replaced the older Indian head cent. For many decades, a reverse back of the Lincoln cent carried the wheat ear design, often called the wheat penny, until 1959, when the U.S. Mint replaced it with the Lincoln Memorial design to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This memorial reverse remained in use for 50 years, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. By the late 2000s, the United States Mint prepared to celebrate another major milestone, the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth in 2009 and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent. The year 2009 featured four special Lincoln bicentennial reverse designs, each depicting a different stage of Lincoln's life: birth and early childhood in Kentucky, formative years in Indiana, professional life in Illinois, and his presidency in Washington, D.C. These designs were minted only during 2009 and marked the end of the long-used memorial reverse. The U.S. Mint planned an entirely new permanent reverse to begin in 2010, symbolizing continuation of the American nation and Lincoln's enduring legacy. Beginning in 2010, the United States introduced the Lincoln Shield Reverse, which remains in use today. This new design features a Union shield with 13 vertical stripes, representing the original colonies, topped by a horizontal bar that represents federal unity. Across the bar is the inscription E Pluribus Unum, and across the shield is a scroll inscribed with the word 1 cent. The shield was chosen to reflect Abraham Lincoln's role in preserving the Union during the American Civil War. Designed by artist Lyndall Bass and sculpted by Joseph Mena, the shield reverse was intended to appear bold, simple, and dignified, suitable for long-term use on America's lowest denomination coin. In terms of composition, the 2010 penny continued the same metal structure used since 1982, a coin mostly made of zinc, 97.5%, and coated with a thin plating of copper, 2.5%. Earlier Lincoln cents had been primarily solid copper, but rising metal prices in the early 1980s made copper more expensive than the face value of the coin itself, forcing the mint to adopt cheaper zinc-based planchets. Although the 2010 cent retains a copper-colored appearance, it is essentially a zinc coin with copper only on the surface. This change in composition, combined with the 2010 redesign, reflects the larger economic and artistic shifts affecting U.S. coinage in the late 20th and early 21st centuries. As a circulation coin, the 2010 1-cent piece was minted in large quantities at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, both of which struck hundreds of millions of these coins for everyday use. The San Francisco Mint also produced specially struck proof coins for collectors. The 2010 issue marked the first full year of the new shield design and is often viewed by numismatics as the beginning of the modern shield cent era. Collectors generally consider 2010 cents common in circulation, but high-grade uncirculated examples, especially those with strong detail and natural luster, are valued for their beauty and for representing the first year of a major design change. Overall, the 2010 United States 1-cent coin stands as an important historical marker linking America's numismatic heritage with the legacy of Abraham Lincoln. It closes a chapter of the 2009 bicentennial series and opens a permanent era of the Lincoln Shield design. Even though it is a small denomination worth only 1 cent, its design and symbolism reflect themes of unity, national identity, and the preservation of the Union. For this reason, the 2010 penny is not just a simple coin of everyday commerce. It is part of a long historical narrative stretching back more than a century and continues to be a widely used reminder of one of America's most influential presidents. Next up, the 2017 P. Lincoln cent holds a special place in modern American numismatics because it represents the first time in the history of the United States Mint that the Philadelphia Mint placed its P mint mark on a circulating 1-cent coin. Before 2017, cents struck in Philadelphia were intentionally left without a mint mark, continuing a tradition that stretched back more than a century. This tradition was rooted in early mint policies, which treated the Philadelphia Mint as the nation's primary and for many decades only minting facility. Because Philadelphia was the original and central mint, it was not required to distinguish its coins with a mint letter. As other branch mints were established, New Orleans, Charlotte, Dahlonega, San Francisco, Carson City, and later Denver, mint marks became necessary to differentiate their production. Yet the cent remained the one denomination that Philadelphia always struck plain, without a mint mark. This made the appearance of the P on the 2017 cent historically significant and immediately noticeable to collectors and the public. The decision to add the mint mark in 2017 was made to honor the 225th anniversary of the United States Mint, which was founded in 1792 under the Coinage Act signed by President George Washington. As part of the anniversary celebrations, Mint leadership sought a subtle but meaningful way to mark the occasion on circulating coinage. Then, Mint Director Rhett Jepson, whose tenure oversaw the anniversary period, approved the addition of the P Mint mark to the 2017 cent as a symbolic gesture acknowledging the long legacy of the Philadelphia facility. It was also intended as a one-year-only change, emphasizing that the alteration was an anniversary commemoration rather than a permanent redesign. The decision was not widely publicized beforehand, which meant the public and many collectors discovered the mint mark only once the coins entered circulation. This unexpected change caused immediate interest, making the coin a favorite among collectors of modern U.S. currency. Design-wise, the 2017 P cent continued the same Union Shield reverse, introduced in 2010, and the long-standing obverse portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner in 1909 for the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Although the design did not change, the mint mark edition made the 2017 P a visually distinct entry in the Lincoln cent series. The coin was made of the modern standard composition, a core of 99.2% zinc coated with 0.8% copper, giving it the appearance of the traditional bronze cents while keeping costs lower for the mint. Billions of examples were struck in 2017, reflecting continuing high demand for pennies in everyday commerce, even as discussions about eliminating the cent continue in public policy circles. Collectors quickly appreciated the historical novelty of the 2017 P cent. Despite its large mintage, its one-year-only status ensures long-term interest. The coin marks a turning point, bridging more than a century of tradition with a modern commemorative gesture. After 2017, the Mint returned to producing Philadelphia cents without mint marks, reaffirming the temporary nature of the change. As a result, the 2017 P cent now stands as a distinct marker of the U.S. Mint's 225th anniversary, a small but meaningful celebration etched into the country's most common coin. Its story draws together minting tradition, modern numismatic culture, and the evolution of American coinage, making it one of the most historically notable Lincoln cents of the 21st century. Next up, the United States 1-cent coin, commonly called a penny, has a long and evolving history that dates back to the nation's earliest years. First authorized by the Coinage Act of 1792, the penny was originally a large copper coin far bigger than the modern version. Early cents, such as the flowing hair cent, 1793, and later the draped bust and classic head designs, were struck from nearly pure copper and reflected the young nation's attempt to establish a stable, standardized currency. Over the 19th century, the coin began to shrink in size, most notable the Flying Eagle cent, 1856 to 1858, and later the Indian Head cent, 1859 to 1909, which introduced a more modern, practical small cent format. These changes came largely due to rising copper prices and the need for a lighter, easier-to-use coin. The most famous and longest-running design in the penny's history is the Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It marked the first time a real historical figure appeared on a U.S. circulating coin, replacing the allegorical images of liberty that had dominated earlier designs. The original Lincoln cent featured Lincoln's portrait on the front obverse and 2 wheat stalks on the back reverse, giving rise to the term wheat penny. In 1959, to honor Lincoln's 150th birthday, the wheat reverse was replaced with an image of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., a design that would remain for 50 years. In 2009, for Lincoln's bicentennial, for special reverse designs were issued, each depicting a different stage of Lincoln's life: his birthplace, formative years, professional life, and presidency. Following the special series, in 2010 the Mint adopted a new permanent reverse. The modern reverse design, still used on the 2018 penny, is known as the Union Shield design. Created by artist Lyndall Bass and sculpted by Joseph Mena, it features a large shield with 13 vertical stripes representing the original 13 states, joined together under a single horizontal banner symbolizing unity. The inscription 1 cent appears boldly across the shield, while E pluribus unum is written on the banner above. This design symbolizes national unity and strength, values strongly associated with Abraham Lincoln's presidency. The obverse remains Victor David Brenner's original 1909 profile of Lincoln, making it one of the longest-running coin portraits in U.S. history. The 2018 United States penny continues this tradition, being struck mostly from a zinc core coated with copper. Since 1982, pennies have been made from 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, a change introduced because solid copper coins became too expensive to produce due to rising metal costs. In 2018, pennies were minted at the Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, and San Francisco S mints, though only the San Francisco versions are produced as proof coins for collectors. Most 2018 pennies carry either a P or D mint mark, depending on the facility. The Philadelphia Mint had begun adding mint marks to pennies a year before 2017. For the first time in its history, and 2018 continued that new practice. While the 2018 penny is not considered rare, it remains part of an important ongoing story of American coinage. Its design blends more than a century of tradition with modern symbolism, continuing the legacy of the Lincoln cent that began in 1909. Coins like the 2018 penny also highlight an ongoing national debate about whether the U.S. should keep producing 1 cent coins at all. For years, the cost of making a penny has exceeded its face value. Yet the coin remains a staple of daily commerce and a sentimental part of American history. Thus, the 2018 penny stands not only as a simple unit currency, but as a small piece of a long, rich narrative that connects early American minting, Lincoln's enduring legacy, and the evolving story of the nation's economy and identity.